as never before in the half-century since I began a career in Washington. Why? Because we're squandering that notion and responsibility to the public good, particularly as the most basic underpinning of our politics and our media. Our politics today in the United States is undermined regularly by self-interest, money, ideological warfare at the expense of the national interest. And in the press, the difficult business of the best obtainable version of the truth is not our priority enough anymore, and not just in the United States. Rather, over the past generation, we've been losing sight of those ideals, and in its place, we're seeing the dominance of a global journalistic culture that has less and less to do with truth or reality or context. Increasingly, the picture of our societies as rendered in our media, especially in the Americas and in Europe, is illusionary and delusionary. Disfigured, unreal, out of touch with truth too often, disconnected from the true context of our lives. It's disfigured by celebrity worship, by gossip, by sensationalism, by denial of our society's real condition, by manufactured controversy, especially on television, but also in print. Manufactured controversy encouraged by journalists and by a political and social discourse in the United States particularly, in which we, meaning the politicians, the press, and the people, have allowed to devolve into a cacophony of shouting, name-calling, and easy answers to tough questions. And this in the most difficult of times. The United States for a generation has been undergoing a kind of political and cultural warfare as bitter as any that has divided us since the American Civil War. One of the great questions of the 21st century is whether we in the so-called civilized world can restore our mission in the press, the best obtainable version of the truth, intertwined with this primary responsibility to the public good, no matter what the financial or profit-making pressures, political pressures, ideological pressures, or cultural pressures from readers and viewers. And as we have seen from these brave journalists here today, it requires extraordinary courage. We in journalism must encourage a new culture of responsibility in the press in this age of the internet and huge technological and cultural change. Otherwise, we won't be taken seriously, and we won't deserve to be when we address the important questions raised as we have today about freedom of expression. If we misuse freedom, as we often do, this extraordinary freedom that your justice is just so eloquently spoken of, as we have in the United States, if we misuse that freedom, we serve the interests of tyrants and demagogues and ignorance and tyranny, whether it's Chavez in Venezuela or Berlusconi in Italy.